Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mommy Jojo and I make videos about motherhood and lifestyle. In this video, I will be talking about my pregnancy story and my birth story as well. This will be a little bit of a long video because I wanted it all together. I have started my channel a few months ago, a couple of months ago actually, but my baby was already 3 months old at that time, and so it was quite hard for me to go back and create more videos about my pregnancy, and partly because I didn't actually document much and I was full-time working. While I'll tell you our pregnancy story, I will also be sorting out my baby's items that he has already outgrown. It is because he's already 4 months now, so we won't be needing his 0 to 3 months clothes anymore, and the items that I've used in my maternity that I could give away. I am packing some stuff for 2 moms that are needing our help at the moment. We are currently in the middle of a lockdown, so I do understand that there is some difficulty on getting baby clothes, and just generally the economy has flopped down. I was contacted by 2 Filipino moms in the UK who are needing so much help, and we are sorting out some stuff for them. I don't want to send them so many second-hand stuff, because of course you would want some new items for your baby, but we've got some stuff that we actually haven't used, so we are setting that I'm going to sort them out and we're going to send them later to Royal Mail. Yeah, so let's start. I've got here baby bottles, and since there's 2 of them, I'll be placing one in this box. It's actually really nice. My first years. We've got 2 of these boxes. I don't know if they accept it in Royal Mail, so I'll just put them in a bag, but for the sake of just sorting out, I'll put them in here, and the other one will be on this little paper bag. As I said, we don't want to send them too much of second-hand stuff, because I believe that they would also want some new stuff for their babies. A little of something will help, I believe. Yeah, so pregnancy wise, let me just show you what we're going to send them. So yeah, I've got all this stuff, baby bottle, some oil, and some items, a nappy cream, and lots of clothes that we're going to sort out. Yeah, so let's start. So me and my husband met on 2016 in London, and after that, 1 year later, 2017, we got engaged, and in 2018 we got married, and that's on the same date actually, which was quite nice. He proposed to me on our first anniversary, and we also got married on the same day on 2018, so we only have one set of anniversaries. Look what I'm doing. I'm putting a little bit of a baby oil that is still locked, it's not been used, and a nappy cream in one go. I also have some maternity pads that I haven't used, so it's up to her if she wants to use it, but I'll put them all together, liquids all together. And we've got some baby moisturizer from Child's Farm as well. I'm gonna put in here So fluids are all together. So yeah, we got married in 2018, and on that time, Tom and I actually already wanted to have a baby in the following years. So I was on the contraceptive injection for I think 2 years already, and I had my last injection just before our wedding because I didn't want to have a period on our wedding day. It's actually a hack. And so I was not receiving injections anymore, and we were waiting for my regular period to start coming back. I've always had a regular period even before, so I was quite afraid if the effect of the contraception would include having a difficulty conceiving. It's actually one of our fears. That's why we didn't want to wait long. And aside from that, of course, we really wanted to have a baby already. So I have started taking pregnant care and conception and waited for my period to be regular. And then when that time came, we started trying. We only tried for 3 months, and we are quite lucky that we actually had a baby immediately, and that day was one of the best days of our lives. It was so funny. I showed Tom the pregnancy test. We had 3 kids. Ready. One of it is a cheaper one because we checked the previous months and it was negative. So we just used the cheaper one, and we have reserved 2 expensive ones just to make sure. And the other one has got a day of when how long have we been, and it said 2 to 3 weeks pregnant. And I showed it to Tom in the toilet, and he was like, "What's this? What does it mean?" I don't know what it means, and it was a positive, so we were so happy. And we kept it to ourselves for I think a couple of weeks. Then we told his parents and my parents, and basically our little unit of family, and we kept it to ourselves. It was a very beautiful news. It was something that we've been keeping and we were enjoying by ourselves. That time Tommy was working in Newcastle and I was in London, so we only see each other on the weekends. And it's actually a really nice time to do it. You know that dogs know when somebody's pregnant. So my husband's dad has got a partner, and they've got a dog called Cookie. And every time we go into their house, Cookie would relentlessly bark at me and play with me, and we think that he already knows, and my father-in-law didn't know just yet. They didn't know just yet, but every time we go there, Cookie was so different with me, so I think she already knew that I was already pregnant. So that was that one. So the first people who found out is our families, and we kept it there. I've also told my CrossFit coach, because I was still doing CrossFit that time, as my fitness, and she was so supportive. She knew what to do because she is a certified prenatal and postnatal coach. We've got little bibs here. She helped me exercise in the beginning until such time where my body just couldn't cope. I was full-time working and I had to travel twice a month up to Newcastle. So I didn't have time to exercise, and most importantly, I didn't have the energy to exercise at all. I was so tired. I didn't vomit. I didn't have those. This is a sock that we got from one of my friends during her baby shower. It has lots of socks in it, and we received so many socks, I'm telling you, during her baby shower. And let's get more of the girl design here. So I'm giving one of each to both moms. There you go. I might have to put this one here. Just so. There you go. So yeah. Next is that the other person who found out as well is my team leader, my manager at the Rosalie. She's Filipino, but at work I had to tell her for safety reasons, because I work in intensive care and I could be exposed to different harmful substances at work and even infections. So I had to tell her, and we needed to do a risk assessment as well. So she had to know. She basically had to know the risks. So I told her at around, I think we were already 8 weeks on the line. Yeah. And then, so we got this one. We got these baby clothes, which we haven't actually used because Mike was born on a winter. So these are from one of our family friends. These are newborn clothes, and I'm going to divide it to two. Put one there and two here. Look, these items, we haven't actually used them because, yeah, as I told you, Mike was born in the winter, so we can't use these items. So I'm going to divide them into two. Right, so after my manager has found out, we kept it, and Tom told a few of his friends and I didn't. I had to be tested for GDM, so gestational diabetes mellitus, because I am Asian. It's funny to know that they test me because I'm Asian, but it is one of the risk factors. Also, my dad has diabetes, so I would like to be tested for gestational diabetes. That time it was negative. At the end of my pregnancy, few weeks before I gave birth, I was diagnosed. I was 35 weeks when I was diagnosed with GDM, gestational diabetes mellitus. We also had to wait for, the reason why we kept it is that we have to wait until the 12-week of gestation age because of the risks. Also, at 12 weeks we had to have our scan, so we were able to go to our scan in St. George's Hospital, and we've seen our baby for the first time. We've heard his heartbeat for the first time, and it was such a lovely time. My husband was there with me, and for the first time I saw him teary-eyed. He actually even cried when he heard Mike's heartbeat. It was such a lovely moment for us, and we had a sonographer. She was lovely. She was so tender. She was so sweet, and she knew it was her first baby, so she took her time for us to digest everything, and she took a photo of it. I was crying, and it was just so lovely. So when we went out of the hospital, we immediately took this photo, a selfie of us, first photo of the three of us, and we have announced it to the world that we were pregnant. And of course, a lot of people were so happy for us. So yeah, that was our announcement, which was, I think it was at 13 weeks. So we were already 3 months pregnant when we have announced. So I've got here newborn clothes from Amazon. I think they actually fit females. So this orange one, car, I don't think they would like that. White, yes. Another car one, a blue and a green. I really don't know. What do you think, guys? These are not the best quality of baby clothes. Actually, I wouldn't say they were quality clothes. I'll keep these ones because they're not very neutral. So just these two out of this lot that I'm gonna send. Okay, so this is a sleeping bag, which is good for newborn. This is Mike's first sleeping bag. It would, I don't know, should I give it away? I don't think I should keep it. So I really don't know. I'll keep this in the side. Here are a few hats. Baby hats. Right, so these are definitely neutral ones. So we've got here a bootie, one bootie there and one glove there. After announcing that we had a baby, we were pregnant, that we were expecting, Tom and I went on with our lives. I had pretty much a healthy pregnancy. The only time I vomited was when we had a trip to Lake District. So this trip has already been booked before, and we thought that it was a really nice time for us to bond together and exercise as well. So we went to walking, we went boating in the lakes in Lake District, and it was such a lovely time. That's the only time that I vomited, when we were in the car. Mind you, the journey there is not the perfect journey. It's not a perfect journey at all. That's a set. So if the items that I won't be sending, I'll put them in this box and I might send them to the Philippines. One of the things that you could actually do is for baby clothes to be sold secondhand. It's quite a trend in here. You have a baby bundle and then you send them away, because babies, they grow out in clothes like really quickly. I remember Mike was just 2 months old and he wouldn't fit on his 0 to 3 clothes, so we had to move into the 3 to 6 quite early. When I told my matron about the news, she was so happy. She said, "This is one of the best news I have received this week." I think she was so stressed already, and then I told her, "I need to speak to you," and she was like, "Are you resigning, or are you leaving?" She was like, she was not expecting me to give her a lovely news, so I told her, "No, I'm pregnant and I'm due on December," and all those things. And she was over the roof. She was like, "Oh, that's a very lovely news. I'm so lucky that I belong to an institution where the people are very supportive. There are workplace they are not supportive when you are pregnant, because they have to pay your maternity fees, and I mean maternity pay, but I'm quite lucky because they are very supportive in where I work. Some women could get could get redundant while they are on maternity, and I don't see that in my workplace. Also, if you move Also, if you move to a new job while you are pregnant, there's a higher risk of bullying, which I don't like. Trying to avoid that, you know. Put it here. Anyway, my baby's already awake, so I might you can hear him. I'll just have to pick him up and put him next to me in here so that he could join me. So I've just given Mike to his dad. Let's continue with this clothes. What do you think about this one? This could go as a neutral, innit? And I think we've only used this once or twice, so I'll put this in here. This one could go neutral, yeah? This from Next, I think. Anyway, so as I said, I'm quite lucky with my workplace because they are very supportive. Yeah. With my pregnancy, it is very funny. You know what? In where I work, I think there were 4 of us, 3 nurses who were pregnant at the same time. We're not due at the same time, but we were pregnant at that time. It's actually really funny. We thought that there was a fertility chair somewhere in the unit. So we ended up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nurses, 1 pharmacist, 1 physiotherapist, and 1 dietitian, and 2 doctors in 1 unit who were pregnant. So when I was pregnant, there were 8 of us pregnant in the unit. So it's actually funny, you know. We've seen the news all the time, haven't we? Right, so more clothes in here. Little cup. Okay, it's white, so we can put it here. This one, Hug Me. You can put it here. Stars. Dinosaur is quite boy-like. Just a plain blue one. What's the brand of this one? From Tubes. Can give it. Dino. This one could be a girl. Stars is also neutral. So yeah, I'll give this one away to them. But we'll still select some. Right, fast forward, 2nd trimester. On the 2nd trimester, I still didn't have a hard time. When I was 20 weeks, I think, when I started noticing that I had a bump, because actually I didn't start out with a flat tummy, so I already had a bump. And what's this one? And it started coming out at around 20 weeks, and it was already summer, so it was more obvious. I didn't buy maternity clothes. I didn't actually need maternity clothes. I only had a dungaree, and I was using my normal dresses, which I can't use now because 1, I've gained so much weight, 2, my boobs actually enlarged a lot, and 3, they are not breastfeeding friendly. There is like 3 or 4 of them that I can use while breastfeeding, and the rest I can't use them for breastfeeding. So yeah, cars, no. Black and white without anything on. I don't think Mike has used this. No, I don't think Mike has used this, so we'll send this away. This one as well, Mike has not used this one. This one doesn't seem to be used as well, but this is very much Look what I found. Star Wars hat. Mike's Star Wars hat. Next. Oh, we really have so much baby clothes. Mommy's little monster. Yeah, Mike is mommy's little boob monster. What are the events in my second trimester? Second trimester, I already stopped working out, and I didn't work out at all. I asked my midwife if I needed to. She said the work that I do already constitutes the exercise that I needed. I'm always on my feet at work, as well as I have a 10-minute walk from home to the station, and station to home as well. And there's a bit of a walk from the station to the hospital, and the hospital to the station, and also I'm on my feet all day, so I didn't really need so much more exercising. I wanted to do swimming, but I was so afraid because I was not a trained swimmer. Like, I learned to swim in the river, so I thought, maybe I can't do it in the thing. Free hugs. It's yellow, so it's neutral. Gives to them. I was afraid that they are going to judge me in the swimming pool, because now this one we are going to keep this, because this is the first clothing that my husband bought for Mike. We were still pregnant that time, and we went to one of the biggest Asdas, and we saw this one, and it was so cute. I spent so much time looking for a daddy version of this one. I just couldn't find one, so we're keeping that one. Most of the firsts we're keeping, but this one, it looks boyish, but it also looks neutral. I think we can have this one. It looks neutral. I can give this one. Oh, look, this one's neutral. Elephant. Definitely neutral. This one's so boyish. Rockets and cars. Next. This one's very neutral, just triangles and dinosaurs, no, white and just white. Oh, I don't think we have plain ones. Oh, it's really plain. Yeah, okay. Right. What else happened in the second trimester? I can't remember anything else. So moving forward to third trimester, we had to move to Newcastle because my husband is working there, and we have decided to stay in Newcastle because I will be in maternity leave anyway. So at least my husband could continue working while I'm on maternity leave. So after we've set out the dates of my maternity leave, I managed to know when is the last day at work so that I could move to Newcastle, all our stuff to Newcastle, and yeah, we managed to do that. Fast forward, we found out our baby's gender at around 20 weeks, 18 weeks, 16 weeks, I can't remember. Yeah, we found out that he was a boy. So the story of that is we had an anomaly scan. Anomaly scan is a scan wherein the sonographer will thoroughly review the baby's heart, brain, internal organs, to look at a lot of anomalies of the baby before they are born. In the UK, they can also scan for Down syndrome, which me and my husband actually spoke about. What if the baby has high percentage of Down syndrome? Are we going to accept the baby, or are we going for abortion? This is the reason why you do not announce until the anomaly scan. Some couples don't announce until this scan has been done, because you have the right to decide on what to do in terms of deciding to pursue the pregnancy and the birth or terminate it. So me and my husband, we both agreed that whatever shape and size our baby would be, we will accept him or her that time. But we did the test anyway. It also tests for other anomalies, but it came out all negative, and the chances were very, very low. There is one thing I had. This is something that we were quite shocked, because I was a hemoglobin E carrier. So when you are a hemoglobin E carrier, you have a gene that could potentially be paired with some that could potentially lead to sickle cell, and what's the other one? Sickle cell and something else. I can't remember. So I did not know that I have this gene. So my husband had to be tested. It came out negative anyway, and we were just educated of what are the risks and what are the chances that Mike is going to have it, and that Mike will be tested on it during the spot test. Unfortunately, Mike actually had it. So the only thing that we have to do is to make sure that Mike does not have a baby with someone with the same gene, hemoglobin E carrier, because it will increase the risk of thalassemia. I remember thalassemia. So Mike actually had it, and the results came back, and we get so many calls, and I told them I've already read about it, I'm well informed about it, we'll just keep an eye on it, and we'll inform Mike when he's able to understand what are the risks and all of that. But other than that, there's actually none. It was quite worrying at the beginning, especially when we didn't have my husband's result, which we have kind of expected to be negative, because this is quite a racial thing. At least this is one of the screening items in the screening that they do. I just realized how much stuff we have for Mike. That's actually a lot. So yeah, I told my family, and my family actually said that my brother's youngest daughter, who was just born in April of that same year, had a spot test and also is a hemoglobin E carrier. So I think it's really in our gene. So we have to do it. Few years ago, hemoglobin testing like this is not included in the spot test or the newborn screening test. Yeah, NBS. It's not part of it, but recently it has been added. So that's when we found out that our little Isabel also has it, and it came from my family. Anyway, yeah, knowing that we were pregnant, as I told you, we got married in 2018. We were planning to get married in the Philippines as well the following year on December. Because I'm pregnant and I'm due in December, we had to bring the wedding forward Therefore, we had to fly in the Philippines at around July. So to make everything short, I organized my wedding within a month in the Philippines. It's a beach wedding, and we flew to the Philippines while I was pregnant, and it was actually fine. And had a wedding in there and went back to the Philippines. We had a 3-week vacation in the Philippines for that, which was really a happy time. Please watch out for my video, because I made a video of how I organized my beach wedding in the Philippines while I am abroad. So yan po. This is Mike's first hat. So we are keeping this one. This one came with the set. Put it there. This one's neutral too. This one's neutral. Paddington. This comes with a set, so I'll just keep this one, okay? Because Mike is still using the dungaree that is included with this one. Just I also celebrated my birthday while I was pregnant. This is my only photo. I don't know why this is the only photo I have.
Use your chin.
Okay, you have 1 minute to do it.
Use your chin.
Near the date of giving birth, I had to transfer all my records from London to the new trust in Newcastle. So So I had to go on to lots of appointments, and most of it I did just by myself, because Tommy was working, and I've already moved here. We got a flat in here. We're renting a flat, and this is the flat that we've rented. So I went to the hospital. They have checked my blood sugar, and then it came back as high. No. We had a scan to see how, because they didn't have a record of my scan. I only had physical records of me. So they had to do a scan for their system. So they did a scan, and the baby was on the 95th percentile, meaning the baby was quite big. So Mike was quite big for his gestational age. So I was told to be tested for GDM, because I might have GDM. So I was tested, and it came back negative. But anyway, they wanted me to check my blood sugar morning, pre-breakfast, after breakfast, pre-lunch, after lunch, pre-dinner, and after dinner. So 6 times a day I had to check my blood sugar. So I had to prick myself and check it. And if ever I had a high reading, which is above 8.4 something, I have to report it to them, which I had twice. So if you had 2 in the span of 1 week, you are considered as a GDM. And I was so honest, and I have reported it. So I was considered to have GDM. So all of those preparations on giving birth in the tub or in water birth and all has gone away. Yeah, because I have to be induced and all of that. And you know, when you are induced, it's going to be very, very, very painful, and it's going to be in a labor ward and not in the birthing clinic or the birthing suite. Yeah. So when I prepared, what are the things that we prepared? So Tom and I went to NCT classes in Newcastle on weekends, and I was still working that time. I also did a course, an online course with Positive Birthing Company. Yeah. Which I have already mentioned in my pregnancy essentials list, and it was like, I would really, 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 really recommend it. So I did some hypnobirthing, which actually helped me a lot. This is the first one. We are going to keep this because this is the first onesie that Mike wore after birth. Oh, put a lipstick on it. What do you think? I think I'm gonna send this because this is pretty. This one was brought to us by his grandma, and it's for winter, so I don't think I should send them. Right. So I was asked if one day I want to give birth. I could tell them. Anyway, I was given the choice between 38 weeks, 39 weeks, and 40 weeks of gestation, but they discouraged going 40 weeks, so I chose the 39th week of gestation, and we went to the hospital. I went to the labor suite, and I went there at 7 p.m. I was booked to be induced at 7 p.m. And we're gonna stay there overnight. So we went to RVI, went to the induction suite, and they have given me the thing for induction. That night I was placed on the monitor, and my husband was there with me, but we brought everything with us. I don't think it was very ready. I don't think that you could actually be very ready, even if it's a normal delivery, even if it's a cesarean. I don't think it's going to be a normal. You could be over prepared. So I was there. We were there the night before. No, the night that we were booked for the test. But nothing happened overnight. Nothing happened at all. So we waited until the morning's rounds by the consultant on what to do next. So we had a breakfast in Costas. I went back to the labor suite. Induction suite, and they have decided to give me another dose, and if it doesn't work, they are going to prematurely rupture my membrane. They did try to rupture my membrane, and then my waters broke. Initially, very little. I thought I was like, oh, I think it didn't break, and all those things. But when I turned to one side, to my other side, it just started bursting, and I've got incontinent pads under me in the bed, and one was not enough. It just kept gushing and gushing and gushing. So they said, we're gonna bring you to the labor ward, but I didn't give birth immediately. It's just because it might progress from there on. So I met this beautiful nurse. I walked towards to my labor suite where I actually gave birth, and I was ushered by my midwife already. She was supposed to help out. She was my midwife up until I gave birth. But her shift ended and I didn't give birth. So I had the drip, syntocinon drip, to induce me. I thought I was a tough cookie. The pain relief that I wanted, we had our birth plan. My birth plan, we read it together when we walked into the labor room, because I can still tolerate the pain. There wasn't any pain anyway. I was just feeling my contractions, but it wasn't very sore. It wasn't sore at all. I was uncomfortable of the water gushing. So we had time. We talked about my birth plan, which was no instrumental delivery. And as much as possible, I would like to avoid anesthetics, except for I had a TENS machine. So midday is when I was moved to the labor suite, and 2 hours after that, an hour after that, I've placed my TENS machine, and the syntocinon drip was being increased and increased. I was already feeling some pain, and my midwife said, "Would you like to be on epidural already?" I thought that the TENS machine was actually working. It was really working. not until it was already 5 p.m. So I was in labor from 9. My membrane ruptured at 9, and at 5 p.m. she did an internal exam with me. So at 12 noon she did an internal exam with me. That's 3 hours after my waters was intentionally broke. I was 1 centimeter dilated, so it was like a good news. So they have started me on syntocinon because I was just 1 centimeter. Started me on syntocinon. It was increased, and I have started using my TENS machine. I was breathing properly. I used my breathing techniques and everything else, and the midwife was quite amazed by my resilience, and I was really a tough cookie, if you would say it, because I've been on syntocinon for 5 hours, and I didn't want to be on epidural. "5 p.m. came, time for another internal exam, 1 centimeter. So I was like, really? Then we checked at 7 p.m. again, and it was just 2 centimeters. Like, it was nothing. And it was already very painful. So I gave in. I said, Tom, let's have the epidural. So I had an epidural. The doctor, his name was Peter, he was so lovely. There was a change of doctors, of midwives already. I had Lewis as my midwife. I'm trying to remember their names because I really love these people. They were so great. So Peter, an anesthetist, I was quite lucky because he was right then and there when I said I want an epidural. There was a doctor immediately, and nowhere in the world you could have that. Like, some people have to wait and gave birth waiting for their epidural to be given. He explained to me everything, and I told him I'm a nurse, I know the risks of this ones, and I've read everything, so I consent. So we've consented, me and my husband consented, but it's in our birth plan. Epidural was okay. So he did it to me. It's actually very cringe, and it didn't work the first time. So I had to be done twice, and then I had some relief. So I slept from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and then there was a change of midwives, and then at 9 p.m. I think there was an internal exam, and I was still 5 centimeters. Yeah. 9 p.m. came, 10 p.m. came. The doctors went for their rounds already, including the consultants, and I told them I am feeling a hump in my bottom, mainly at my back. I thought I think the baby was coming down already, but I wasn't, so I knew that it wouldn't be that quick. I was already uncomfortable, but I was trying to be more rational, and I was trying to be a good patient, which is what I really wanted to become. I don't want to be bitching and everything. So the doctors came around and gave me fentanyl to relieve the sore in my back. When Louis did an internal exam for me at 11 p.m. it was 9 centimeters. How happy I could be that I didn't feel so much pain, except that pressing feeling at my back. I slept, so I had some energy, and it was 9 centimeters. So we planned at 12 midnight we'll check again, and we will start pushing. So I prepared myself, me and Tom, and at 12 midnight we've started pushing. And you know what happened at the same time was that was the UK elections, and they have started counting already. So on the TV, I was looking at the faces of Boris Johnson and all the other politicians, and all of these news are coming. So I told Tom, please just turn it off. And then we started pushing and pushing. It was so sore. So Lewis was saying, you were not supposed to feel the pain, but I was feeling so much pain. So every time I tried to push, it was just very, very sore. Oh, my baby is crying. Oh, come here. So Mike is already here beside me. So I'll quickly continue this one. Hey. So I didn't know I was already pushing for 2 hours, and I wouldn't let go of my husband's hand. He was there cheering me up, and all the doctors and everyone else. I was already pushing for, I think, an hour or so, and I think I wasn't pushing effectively. I was freaking out every time I pushed, and there was also some waste coming out, so I was quite conscious. My button snapped. My baby's heartbeat went up to more than 160, and it was not a good sign. It means that Mike inside was already in distress. So the doctor has spoken to me and told me that we will have to proceed to instrumental delivery. Tom was reminding me, oh my god, it's making me teary-eyed. Tom was reminding me we do not want an instrumental delivery, and I told them suction would be fine, ventouse would be fine, but not forceps. So they were already donning the gloves, they were already preparing for it, and I was struggling inside because I didn't want to, but we had no choice because I really couldn't. So I tried and tried and tried and tried while they were... So I tried and tried until the doctors were ready to do the instrumental delivery. And what he did, the others were still preparing, and Mahmoud, the registrar, came next to me, and he's next to my bottom, and he said, I'm gonna give you a tear, and I can see your baby's head already full of hair. And he wasn't lying, because Mike was full of hair. And I pushed, and he made the biggest cut, probably not very big, the best and perfect timing cut, and Mike went out. And a tear just went out of my eyes. Mike was crying, everything. It was such a lovely time. It makes me cry until now. This is the reason why I made this video, because I want to remember this time for the rest of my life, because it was such a lovely time. Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, we had Mike, and it was one of the loveliest day. It was at 2 a.m. and it was election day. I was very happy. Actually, a funny thing, Tom, is his toes and fingers complete? Yes, it was. So as requested, we had the first touch. So Mike was placed on my chest. I have this maternity clothing wherein I could drop it off, and then Mike was there, and then he started his first feed, which was brilliant. one thing that's very different in the Philippines or maybe in other countries, Mike was not weighed at the same hour. Mike was not measured. He wasn't. He was just placed on top of me. They might have already done their checks when I might not have noticed it because I was so overwhelmed by everything. I might not have noticed it really, but yeah, he was all the time on top of me, and Tom and I was so happy. I was quite messy, so I had a change and all. They helped me clean up, and the midwife was doing all the paperwork, and I managed to have a little bit of a rest, and Mike was just in the side sleeping and his dad was watching him. So we were moved into the post-natal ward, and it was quite noisy in there. We didn't have enough sleep really, and Mike was with us. So yeah, just a quick thing. We went home on the same day. The only thing that happened was that at 6 a.m. Mike had to have his blood sugars checked because I had GDM and it was low, and I was asked by the doctors to top up the midwives to top up Mike with formula milk, which I didn't want to. I've stated this in my breastfeeding journey video. Please watch it in here, which I didn't. I was hard-headed. But anyway, I fed him and it went back normal. So we did all the tests, the hearing test on the same day as well. He was reviewed. I had the breastfeeding lactation expert visit me and teach me how to latch him properly, which was quite a hard thing. Please watch my breastfeeding journey video for that. And we went home at around 4 p.m. Very proud grandparents picking us up from the hospital, and I was dreading to have a shower. Because we were in the hospital for 2 nights. One during induction, one when I gave birth. So I didn't have a shower at all, and I've just had a shower when I got home. So yeah, let's finish this one. This one is such a very nice outfit from my friend Angeli. So I'm gonna keep this one because it's so male-like. So we've got here a set of clothes to give away, and all of these will be placed back in this box to be sent to the Philippines, hopefully. Yeah, so I'll just divide all of these into 2 and then we could go. Oh, my little boy's here. So thank you so much for being with me in this video, and I hope that you will and I hope that you would give this one a thumbs up. Thank you so much. If you've got comments or you could tell me your birth story, please don't hesitate to write it down below. I hope you have a good day and a good quarantine time. This is not the best time for us, but let's do our best to keep ourselves sane. Let's help each other. I'm just going to finish this one, feed Mike, finish all this ones, and we're gonna go to the post office to send them to the ladies that will have them next, and I hope I'm able to help more people. I thought of selling all this stuff, but in this time of difficulty, I don't think that it is the most logical thing to do. I do not want profit from anything out of all of these things. Profit is not in our mentality at the moment. So even if I'm a budget mom, I would not want to take advantage. And this is the best time to help other people. It could be any one of us. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you keep yourself and your family safe. Bye bye. Bye. Say bye bye, Maya.